Hi, my name is Jack Wilcox, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to install the Adobe Creative Cloud application on your personal computer using a District 155 account. So when would we need to use this? Well, this is when you want to use a personal computer. For example, right here I'm using Windows. This is going to be the tutorial for Windows-based PCs. And you're going to want to download and install the Creative Cloud application if you want to install applications like Adobe Photoshop, Premiere Pro, Lightroom Classic. All of those tools are going to require the Creative Cloud desktop application. And in order to do that, you need to make sure that you're signed in with your District 155 account, and you need to have a few checks done beforehand. So we're going to go ahead and do a tutorial on how to install that. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to open up any web browser. I'm just going to open up Google Chrome because that's my browser of choice. And if you're within District 155, you're going to be most familiar with most likely Chrome. So I have not actually set up an account yet. I don't need to sign into my District 155 account in order for this to work on the Chrome level. We're going to end up having to sign into it on the Creative Cloud tool, but for the actual web browser, we don't need to do anything. So I'm not going to sign in, and I'm not going to set it as my default browser. I'm just going to open it up here. So now all I simply need to do is search download Creative Cloud. Okay, and the first result I get is going to be the one we want. So once we get here, it's going to say download Creative Cloud desktop app, and all we need to do is click the first link right here. This is going to bring us to the Adobe website where we can download our application. So it may automatically start to do that. As you can see, it automatically started to do that up here in the top corner. You can see it downloaded it. If you did not get that and you waited about 10 to 15 seconds, you can go ahead and click this blue button where it says download Creative Cloud, and it's going to do the exact same thing and save it right here. So now that we have this, we can go ahead and navigate to our downloads folder, which if you're using a Windows PC, most likely it's going to be in your File Explorer on your C drive, and then right here you should have an option that says downloads. I click downloads, and as I can see, I have a Creative Cloud setup file. I'm going to double click this, and for this you have to make sure you're a computer administrator. If you don't know what this means, and this is your personal computer, most likely you're an administrator. So we're going to double click this right here, and we're going to get what's called a UAC prompt, or user account control. And as you can see, I did not get that because I'm an admin, but if you did get it, you would not be able to install it, and you'd have to type in an administrator password for the computer. But again, if this is your personal computer and you have the only account on the system, you should not have to worry about this. So now we're going to see this where it says account authentication. In order to install the actual Creative Cloud app, you have to sign in. So this is where we're going to sign into our District 155 account. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. And here's that prompt I was talking about. You're going to click yes. We're going to go ahead and let it spin and do its thing. And right here, in order to install the application, we need to now sign in to our account. So the best way to do this is to just click by continue with Google, because we have SSO built in. SSO means single sign-on, which means you can use your Google account to sign in to any service that supports it. So I'm going to click continue with Google here, and it's most likely going to open up a web browser. As you can see, it opened up Microsoft Edge. That's okay. It's the exact same thing as Chrome. It's just the Microsoft version because I did not set Chrome as my default browser. And now right here where we get the Adobe login, we're just going to type in our District 155 email, much like we would if we were signing in with any other service. So I'm going to type in my email right here. I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then I'm going to type in my password. Once we've done that, it's going to go ahead and say you're all set, and it's going to redirect us back to the application. And now on the left-hand side, we have to wait for the program to install. Depending on your internet connection and the quality and speed of your computer, this could take anywhere from 5 to probably about 15 minutes. So as you can see, this computer is a pretty fast internet connection. It's pretty powerful, so it's installing relatively quick, but I will be back once it has fully installed. Okay, so now Creative Cloud has installed, and it's going to automatically open up the panel. That took about 3 minutes on this system. But again, depending on your computer and your internet connection speed, this could take a little bit longer or possibly shorter. So we're going to go ahead and wait for it to say open Creative Cloud right now. You can kind of hear my computer's fans are ramping up a little bit because in the background it's actually installing a lot of different tools and applications. For example, it's going to be installing fonts right now. It's going to be installing the update service. It's going to be installing things in the background. So once you first install this, your computer might act a little sluggish depending on what else you have running in the background. So now that we are right here, this is going to be your Creative Cloud desktop home. We're going to go ahead and wait for it to load a little bit. It's still kind of downloading all these assets. But right here, it's going to give us a short tutorial and a walkthrough so we can manage apps, access files, and they say build your skills. I mean, I'm sure you can do that through here. So now this is going to be what we call the Creative Cloud. I'm going to minimize all this. This is what we call the Creative Cloud desktop app. This is going to be your central hub for installing applications and possibly looking at your files. Again, we're going to get into that a little bit in a different video with our file management because we're going to be installing the Google Suite Drive application so we can navigate files locally. But right here, this is going to be your Creative Cloud desktop folder. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to install Photoshop as an example. So in order to install our applications, because we have the enterprise plan, we have any of the Adobe apps we want. So on the left hand, I'm going to navigate to where it says apps. I'm going to click apps. And then right here, this is going to be all of the apps available in our plan. So the District 155 has provided us with all of the different applications within the plan. So I'm going to go ahead and see where it says Photoshop right here. All I simply do is I click install. And now what it's going to do here is it's going to install the application. Again, this might take 5 to 10 minutes depending on the speed of your computer and your internet connection. But this is essentially going to be how we're going to install all of our applications that we want to use on our personal computer. And we don't have to worry about signing in once we get there because we're already signed into the Creative Cloud app, which means that all of these applications, if I were to install, I'm going to automatically be signed in. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and then once we're back with Photoshop installing, we're just going to simply open the app and kind of discuss how it works. Okay, so now Adobe Photoshop has installed, so now let's go ahead and test it by clicking Open up here. And if we go to our Start menu, we should also see it in our recently installed applications. So I'm just going to click Photoshop, and we're going to let it open. We might have to register the device if we've never signed in on it before as one of our 5 devices that we can have our applications on, because that's how Adobe will stop you from installing it on 100 different computers. They say you can only have 5 active computers at once. So we're going to go ahead and open up Photoshop right now. And we might have to sign out of one of the devices because I'm pretty sure I've signed into probably about 5 machines. I don't use all of them anymore, but I might have those machines still signed in and as registered on my account. So we're going to go ahead and wait for this to open. As you can see, my fans are ramping up too. This is a pretty heavy application to run, especially when you launch it for the first time. And as we can see, it's going to say Photoshop. It's going to say welcome. And as you can see, this is what I was talking about. So we're going to have to sign out of a device to continue because we can only have 5 signed in. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out of this computer because it says last active 9 months ago, and this one was last active 2 months ago. So I'm going to click sign out. So now I have 3 computers registered. I use this one and I use this one. So we have this device is going to be my 3rd one. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and it's going to go ahead and register. So now we can see that Photoshop has seemed to install perfectly fine. I'm just going to create a new document real quick just to test. But that is essentially how we're going to install all of our applications on this. And Photoshop, you might get a driver's out of date. That's okay. We don't have to worry about that. But so that is what's going to happen when you install all of your applications. You're just going to simply open it up and it should already be signed in. Again, if you have those 5 devices signed in, you might have to sign out of a single device. And if you go up to the top right corner, you can also see it's going to say My Adobe Account right here. So that is the general way to install all of the Adobe applications on a Windows system. If you were looking for how to do it on a Mac OS computer like a MacBook or an iMac, I'm going to go ahead and put up a different video on this page to do that. So yes, I really hope this helped, and if you have any questions, please email jackwilcox08@outlook.com. Thank you very much.